Hey everyone, it's the Guerrilla economist, and we're here live with one of the main developers over at RNR, RepairRestoreCredit.com, Frank. And Frankie is one of our main developers. He is actually the main developer, and basically the main marketing guy. Yep. One of the things that Frank has seen a lot, because he's always in the system and he sees the emails, he sees the questions, and he's come out and said, "Hey, V, you know what? We need to do like an FAQ, like a frequently asked questions on RepairRestoreCredit.com."
Restore, repair.
Is that what I said?
You said it backwards.
Oh my God, I'm dyslexic, man. That's what it is. So
Restore, repair, credit.com.
And again, so we are doing this live, so there's going to be all this funny business going on between back and forth, but it's all good. At least we're being real, and we want to be real to all of you. So basically, want to run down the commonly asked questions, okay, about R&R and what it is. So without further ado, I think, hey Frankie, so I guess we'll get it right into it, man.
Yeah. No, I just what you do is so specialized and unique. I mean, we get questions. One of the most common questions we get is people essentially trying to find a way to say, like, really?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we get those constantly. People saying, like, so really? Like they don't really know how to put it without just saying, like, are you going to really do that? And the answer is yes.
Right.
So we figured we'd come on and just address some, occasionally there's a question that's so specific that literally only you can answer it. Right? Because what you do is so specialized and specific. But then there are a lot of questions that we just get all the time. And so we figured it'd be great if we could come on and just bang through them. And a lot of them come down to, you said you can do this, really, Right. So here's, I'm just going to, these aren't in any particular order. I kind of grouped them together, but I basically reworded a lot of questions that we get and just go at it. So here's one, I put this in my own words, but this is, and if anybody's out there and this sounds like you, let me assure you, it's not you. We didn't copy and paste anybody's questions. We really do get the same kind of questions. People are the same. People have the same situations. People have gotten in the same kind of trouble. So please don't feel like, oh man, I asked that question and now we're not reading anybody's question on the air. If it comes up, it's because 10 people have the same issue and we want to address it to make it a little bit easier, or more than dozens of times. So here's a very common one. Hey V, lost my job a while back. I'm way behind on all kinds of debt. Is this a program that requires a fee and makes smaller payments to all my creditors monthly? And then essentially, are you bundling a bunch of debt together and requiring one big fee to pay everybody a little bit? So that's something we've seen a bunch of times. So you want to try to hit that?
Yeah, absolutely. Oftentimes there's various different types of credit programs. The first one would be kind of like what you just described, Frank, where it's kind of like a debt consolidation program where they're telling you to stop payments on all your credit cards, all your loans and lines of credit, letting it run up, and then with whoever the company is that you're working with would call your creditor and say, well, Billy Bob owes you $10,000 or $20,000, but he's willing to settle right now for $6,000. And the creditor is happy, and the negotiating company is happy, and you still wind up getting screwed because now not only are you paying the creditor, you're also paying the consolidation company. And what most people don't realize, man, is how debt works in this country. Okay, people are clueless about it. First and foremost, people need to understand that debt is something that's created out of thin air. It's backed up by nothing, and it's loaned to you. Right? In other words, when you apply for a credit card, a home equity line of credit, or not a home equity line, that's based on your house, but like a line of credit or like any sort of loan. Okay, what a lender does, he, using your credit score, they create the money out of thin air and they loan it to you and then hit you with interest and penalties if you do not pay in time or if you don't pay it at all. But at the same time, what people do not understand is those same lenders take insurance against you just in case you default. So if you do default, they wind up getting paid to begin with. Okay, that's the little dirty secret, and that's how credit and debt works in this country. Otherwise, if they didn't take out that insurance, you have lending companies going bust every day. Okay.
Yeah.
The fact is,
I think people are picturing like some guy named like Bill sitting in an office saying, "Man, when is this guy going to pay me?"
No, exactly. That's the image.
It's like your debt isn't. I mean, I'm putting it in very layman's terms, but it's not like a real thing.
No, right. You're absolutely right. It's perception is reality, and one of the things I always say, when I'm doing my Rogue Money radio shows and whatnot, is that the greatest weapon that the bankers have against the populace is perception, right? It's making people feel that, hey, this belongs to you. You're obligated to this. You're stuck with this. And if you don't take care of this obligation, which is a fictitious obligation to begin with, okay? You're on the hook. We're going to come after you. We're going to ruin your life. We're going to treat you like a second-class citizen. The reality is folks, is that your Social Security number was never designed as something to monitor your credit worthiness, okay? It wasn't until, there's no law anywhere in the book saying, your Social Security number is the moniker in which your credit worthiness and your financial responsibility is tied. There's nothing anywhere that says that, okay? So what occurred, it just became something to do. Because unfortunately, we live in a country where we just do things because that's just the way we always do things. So when some credit card companies, when they started springing out in the late 60s, early 70s, what occurred is they wanted to find a way in order to, link a person's credit file or their financial history to that person. And somebody thought it was a wonderful, bright idea to have that Social Security number pegged. And next, other credit card companies and lending institutions started doing it. Banks started doing it. And then whole entire credit bureaus sprung up out of a make-believe fictitious industry that just came out of nowhere. Okay, so the whole thing is BS. Now, like it's kind of reminds me, and when people say, "Well, why are you doing this service?" Well, when I was younger, I saw the movie Fight Club, and the whole premise behind Fight Club is Tyler Durden, the character played by Brad Pitt. His ultimate goal was, what does he do? Well, in the end of the movie, he blows up the credit bureaus. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a fictitious thing, right? So so that's number one. Number two, most people hear about fractional reserve lending and banking. Like, you go to a bank, you take $1,000, you put $1,000 into the bank. The bank takes that $1,000 and loans it out, 10 times. So in other words, they've created $10,000 worth of loans on that $1,000 deposit.
Yeah. That's
called fractional reserve lending, and that works so long as somebody or all the people that they've loaned money out to, or the people they've deposited money to, don't suddenly come back in and request all their money out. Then you have a run on the bank, and then they have a recall of the loans. So this is the type of stuff that our whole entire imaginary debt system and imaginary economy is based on. So you have, and that's what a credit card company is not a financial institution. They themselves cannot, create money out of thin air because they're not a bank. They haven't been chartered as a bank. Okay, that's why when American Express in 2008, the financial collapse, American Express was actually restructured as a bank holdings company in order for them to receive bailout benefits. Otherwise, they were done.
Wow.
Okay, so credit card companies are not banks. Okay, so when they're giving you credit, what the heck are they doing? Like you said earlier, there's not some guy named Billy who's sitting behind a desk saying, man, when is this guy gonna pay me? He's killing me, man. I gotta send my kids to college.
Yeah.
They're not doing that. They're utilizing your credit score, your Social Security number, and then creating money that's your money to begin with, and loaning it to you, okay, and then hitting you with interest and credit in the whole 9 yards, and then taking insurance against you just in case you don't pay. This is what's called human resource, and people don't realize it actually ties back to the 1933 bankruptcy of the United States, where, for the first time in history, we, the American public, has become the collateral for the national debt. Okay, if you don't believe me, check this out. You take your Social Security card, you look at the back of your Social Security card, that's a bond number. Okay, you look that up online. Yeah, I'm not trying to just saying, it's not really a bond number, blah, blah. It actually is. You can go to any trading house in Wall Street, pump that in, and your name and your worth comes out because you're a human commodity. You're a human resource.
Nuts.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. In 2014, in 2014, when President Obama wanted to open up the borders and flood us in with illegals, both the Republicans and the Democrats, because they're both two wings on the same dragon, both the Republicans and the Democrats, what was the first thing that they wanted to do with all this flood of illegals? Okay, what was the first thing they wanted to give them? Social security cards.
Yeah.
You might have said, why the hell? What? Not
monetize
this
them.
guy. Correct.
Let's monetize the illegals.
Bingo. That's what it is. That's also a sign that we as a nation are going broke. This is a sign that our economy is in deep trouble, and we need more because we're running up a debt every so many quarters. Now the question becomes, we need to increase our debt ceiling. We need to increase our debt ceiling. Well, how do you bolster? How do you bolster the burgeoning debt? Well, you need more collateral, and you only have 300 million people in this country, 350 million. You need more people. So let's hand out these Social Security cards. These Social Security cards are handed out, and they are monetized. Okay, you are collateralized. And on the public side, each American individual is worth billions in terms of U.S. debt. Okay, but on the private side, you're only worth how much whatever your bank account, your checking account says you're worth, and whatever you owe. Okay, so there's two different things, and that's a whole big world I don't want to waste my time getting into. But so the credit card companies, when they loan out this to you, it's your money to begin with. Okay, they're able to take it from the public side, give it to the private side, and then they convince you that they're the ones giving it to you, that you're obligated to that, and that is just a fictitious lie. All right, so that's why when you default and you can't pay, the insurance company that has that debt insured pays the credit card company. Okay, and then the credit card company sells your debt off to a collections agency for pennies on the dollar. That's why collections agency give you a call and say, "All right, Bobby, you owe $20,000, but we'll settle for, I don't know, $1,200."
And totally arbitrary. Yeah,
totally arbitrary. You're like, wait a minute, you just gave me like a 99% discount. How the hell did you do that? And they did that because they put the debt on pennies on the dollar. So whatever they get from you, okay, is pure profit. That's how it works. And so you, like a sucker, all right, I'll pay it off because after all, I owe them that money.
Yes. Yeah.
So, all right, so you go ahead and you pay it off, and that mark still goes on your credit report, and it still lingers. Okay. So. Yeah. So that's
I think to put it like to an 8-year-old, people have this idea that it's like you took a loan from your friend and you owe it to them. It's things that are happening in computers.
Exactly.
It's created out of thin air.
Bingo. You're 1,000% correct
which explains how you're able to do what you do, because that's the thing that really confuses people. How are you able to take this debt and deal with it in such a way that it's no longer impacting you, it's no longer something that's affecting you? People just can't visualize that because you borrow $50 from your friend. There's no keystroke you can press to take that away, but that's not what's happening here when you're dealing with the banks.
Bingo, 1,000%. And here's a little known thing that people don't realize. When there's no actual money, there's no physical hard currency.
Yes, big point. Yeah.
It's just electronic. Yep. And it's based upon your credit score. It's based upon your credit worthiness, not the banks. They're not lending it to you. They're not losing any money. This whole system's worked on. The debt is valuable to these people, and debt is a system that makes our nation go round. So when you're getting in bed with a company that says, "Hey, we're a debt consolidation company. We're gonna go to fight for you," no, please understand you're being screwed over twice. Mm-hmm. Once by them, and once by your creditors who still get paid. Not only are they getting paid, they've already been paid. Off. Now the consolidation company, which is really a nice, it's really a nice collections agency, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, let's throw a few in. So here's one that's fairly common. While having my credit repaired or wiping out some of my credit cards, will that debt affect my mortgage? Or this is two. I'm kind of combining two here. Will it affect my mortgage, or will it affect my ability to get a mortgage?
No, not at all. Because you're
could help it actually, couldn't it?
1,000%. In fact, the guy who helped develop the entire software system that we're utilizing in RNR, he's the genius behind it, and he is the guy who cleans the credit for the largest mortgage lenders on the East Coast. They give him their client files because you have clients who come in, they want a home or whatnot. Their credit scores are 500, 600 points. By the time he's done, it's jumped up to 755. And
that's a great point, because this is actually this kind of technique, which is rare to find what you do.
Totally.
something massive, but it's exactly what a mortgage company would like you to do in order to get a better mortgage.
Correct. Absolutely. 1,000%.
Yeah. It's not going to hurt it. It's exactly what they want.
Yes, correct. 1,000%. And we had people who had massive credit card debt who were able to wipe it out, and they were able to go forth and not only get a mortgage or get refinanced. Some people who who faced bankruptcies and foreclosures, we were able to remove that, and they were able to go forth and make large purchases as well. So wiping out your credit card debt does not affect your mortgage or your mortgage worthiness, because those two things work on two different FICO scores. Mortgage is looked at what's categorized as a FICO 9 or a FICO 8, I believe, and then the credit cards I think are a FICO 6. So it's really different. It's completely different.
Okay. Here's one I know the answer to myself. What if I want to have my spouse's credit cleaned at the same time?
Totally possible. Thanks to Frank over here, we were able to roll out very quickly and very rapidly a couples plan, and we have a couples plan that's just we have a one-time payment, and then we have payment options alongside it for that couples plan. So it's a great way for you to save money. You're saving a great deal of money, and you know what? It's like, instead of throwing money on the debt, look, my whole thing is this. Okay, it being the guerrilla economist and being somebody who's been in the financial industry, one of the golden rules is never throw good money on bad money. And when you're making minimum payments, okay, all you're doing is just taking good money and throwing it on bad money.
Yeah.
Okay, all the while believing that this is somehow yours. You're obligated to it, and oh my God, if I don't pay, my life is over. Mm-hmm. And it's not. No, folks, we are the reset button.
Yeah, and that leads into this one too. Occasionally somebody will. I don't know why they bother, but they'll send sort of a snarky comment saying like, "This is a little expensive for people in debt." And I think they're missing the point of what we do. For the vast majority of people, it's really simple math to see that this is going to save you a fortune.
Oh, heck yeah. I mean, this is too expensive for people in debt. Meanwhile, the guy's 20, 30 grand in debt. Okay, so let's
massive monthly payments. Massive monthly payments.
This is too expensive for people in debt. I'd rather pay, $300, $400, $500, $600, $800, $1,000, $1,200 a month in minimum payments, and than pay $14.99 or one of the attractive payment plans and payment options that we have. Yep. I mean, think about it. You add in the penalties and the interest. Like, most people don't realize, how long would it take if you look at the penalties and interest? If the average American credit card debt is about $3,000, if that person made minimum payments, okay, with all the penalties, all the interest rates that right now, especially if you don't have an attractive interest rate and you're just paying minimum payments, it's going to take you 15 to 20 years to pay that $3,000 off.
Yeah.
And you've spent a ridiculous amount of money, like $10,000 already. Mm-hmm. I mean, these are people that either they're numerically challenged, they just can't figure out mathematically, or they're just not paying attention. I mean,
I think most of the time they think that this is like a higher end version of these other programs that we talked about, where someone wants you to. They're trying to get you a better deal on paying everything back, and
no, exactly,
this is something much more aggressive. This is the word we like to use is aggressive.
Right.
This is not that light approach. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you said it best. We're like the credit hitman. It's like hiring a hitman.
Yes.
That's exactly what it is. It really is. Like you got tired of it. You got beaten up and bullied on by the bank. You call up the hitman, and that's what we are. We go in and we whack the problem. We don't negotiate nothing. We punch them right in the face. And we do it 100% legitimately. We do it 100% legally.
Yep, that's the other question. Is it legal? Yeah, no, it's totally illegal. We just put a completely illegal program on the.
I mean, I had a client who signed up with us. He asked us, "Well, how do you really do this?" I told him, "Yeah, we hire Russian hackers. we hire hackers from Russia."
This one, and this is just asking the same question again. Mm-hmm. But we'll have people say, I've got 30K, 50K, 80K in credit card debt. Is there anything you can do? I know the answer is yes. But I just wanted to bring that out. This isn't just for people with a little bit of debt.
Yeah.
Here's one that sort of, I think, brings out a point that you've been making all along. to help people see. I think there's this thought, like I used a credit card to buy a TV from Best Buy, and if I don't pay it back, Best Buy is not going to get their money. It's just not how credit cards work.
Oh.
Best Buy got their money immediately.
Absolutely.
There was not a thing on their statement that said, "Oh, this was credit card money." It's not really. You can't use it until it's paid back 15 years from now.
Until Johnny pays us back, we're going to be.
Yeah, no, like you may be paying your Best Buy credit card for the next bunch of years, but you already paid them. They already got their money. But this one is, if I paid for a car, for example. People worry about their stuff. And if you're talking about not actually paying all your debt, people start to worry they're going to lose their stuff. Mm-hmm. So if I pay for a car, for example, using credit card debt, will I lose the title to my car if my debt gets wiped?
No, let's say you purchase a car on a credit card. Well, basically, the credit card company looks at it this way. It's unsecured debt. You're using unsecured debt to buy an asset. So it's the same thing whether you buy a television, you buy furniture, you buy a computer or a cell phone. You do that on the credit card. It's the same thing. You go take your credit card, go buy a car, and you get into a jam. They're not going to come and take your car because you're not financing the car. So when you're financing the car, you're collateralizing that asset. Okay, you're collateralizing the asset, and no longer becomes an unsecured loan, but it becomes a secured loan. So if you don't pay your car payment, not your credit card bill, but your car payment, then they'll come and repossess your vehicle.
Yeah. Next one, if I default on credit card debt, will it stick to the reporting agency's records for 7 years?
Nope.
And actually, the question is kind of like, I know it's going to, so how do you get around that? But the answer is no, it doesn't, because of the process you use, right?
Correct. If you don't use us, it'll be stuck on your credit reporting for 7 years. And if you use like a debt consolidation company, you pay them a couple $1,000, and then after 5 years, your score goes up 10 points. Or you can join RNR and then see results very quickly. Yeah. Typically, it's anywhere between 30 to 90 days. The most severe cases, like you got bankruptcies, foreclosures, and whatnot, probably about 6 months or so. Mm-hmm. That's what we've seen. But the point is that once we're done, I love taking people over that 700 mark and seeing their face light up.
Yeah, that's amazing. And we've been talking a lot about credit card debt because we get a lot of questions about that. But the service is not only for credit card debt. You talk about bankruptcies. We'll talk about taxes, tax problems, liens, judgments. Yep. We're not just talking about credit cards. I mean, that's common.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. Here's this one you can answer quickly. What do you do? It's not worded as a sentence, but basically, once a credit card account is wiped, can you still use that card when you're done?
No, get rid of it. You can't use it because
you can't use it. It's done.
Between the three bureaus, that information for that debt will not be there any longer. Okay.
So the card kind of doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, in the bureau, in the world of credit, it doesn't exist anymore. Okay. But if you were to go to that same credit card company, like you ran up your Amex, you screwed up, you made a mistake, we go ahead and wipe it. After we wipe it, you're not going to go back to Amex and be like, hey, can I have your card? Amex is like, sure. They run your credit. They realize, oh, yeah, he's got excellent credit. But wait a minute, his name matches a file that we have here.
Okay.
You don't want to do that. Look, there's credit cards out there.
And this is something we've talked about. You want to pick if there's some institution you want to have a card with.
Yeah, I mean,
you want to decide whether or not you want to get rid of that one.
Bingo. I mean, I have clients who say, you know what, I want all this debt wiped out, but the Discover card, can you keep that? Or can you keep the American Express card? There's a Capital One Rewards card. There's a Chase Slate card. There's a preferred business card from Chase. Can you keep that? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Keep the ones you like. Everything else, we'll just knock it right out. It's gone.
Mm-hmm. And you're reducing your monthly payments.
Yeah.
All right. Student loans.
Yeah.
Very, very straightforward question. See a lot. Can you help with student loans? What can you do? What can't you do? I know student loans from our conversations and talking, I know it's a little bit more complicated. So can you get into what you can and can't do with regard to student loans?
Sure. If it's like a straight up federal student loan, we can take it off, but chances are it might pop back in. Okay. Federal. If it's like a private student loan, you do it through a bank or whatnot, we'll take that right off. That's not much. I'll stay off.
So it just depends on where the loan's coming from.
Right, exactly. And again, even the federal, we can take it off, but there's a slight chance, not a big one, there's a slight chance that it might pop in. And if it does, just give us a call. We'll take it off again. It's not a problem.
Okay. So don't stay away if you have student loans.
Don't stay away. Don't be shy. I mean, my thing is, it's like, some people are like, oh my God, I got all the student loan debt, but that's just one aspect of your file. That's the easy thing to fix. Either if we can't take it off, we'll tell you, hey, this is what you need to do. We'll give you the strategy so you can get involved in a payment plan to knock it out, okay? And bring your credit to good standing. So oftentimes people say, oh, I got bad student loan debt. And then they send me the file, and I look at the file, I'm like, man, it's not the student loans that's killing you. It's all this other negative stuff that you have sitting in your file for the last 10, 15 years. No one's touched it. You clean all that junk out, it's boom, the score goes right up, and they're right where they want to be.
Excellent. Well, I thought we had like a million questions left. As far as I could see, we only have one left. Two left. I'm surprised. It seemed like we had so many, but they're also similar. They all, it's like the more you talk, the less questions I have that are relevant because you keep hitting them all. All right, here's one again. Put my own words. Very common question. I have loan debt. What difference does it make if it's secured or unsecured? Can you talk a little bit about the difference between secured and unsecured and how that affects your process?
Yeah, I mean, if it's unsecured, that's the best way to go because meaning there's no underlying collateral. Like, you can't come up to me and be like, hey man, I'm behind on my mortgage. Can you take my mortgage out? Yeah, I could remove it from the bureau files, but what's going to happen is the bank's going to come.
Do you also want to come live with me?
Yeah, exactly. So that's the difference between the type of loan. So you could have, auto loan. That's a secured loan. You can take the auto loan out of the file, but you don't pay your car note. Somebody's going to come and take it. So
right. But it's important. I think for you, this stuff you know this stuff so well. I know there's certain things that for me where I know a ton about it and everything seems obvious to me. But for other people, I really think they think any kind of debt they can come and take your couch, they can come and take your TV, they can come and take your car. That's just not the way that it works.
No, I mean it didn't help that in the 80s and 90s they had that commercial where they had this kid. He was like rocking out in his living room and. He's got the big screen TV. It was like the projection screen. It wasn't like a flat screen, and he's just rocking out with the stereo equipment, and all of a sudden everything starts disappearing, and he's like left in an empty room with just a pair of headphones on, and he's like wondering what happens, and the message was, if you pay by credit and you don't keep up with your bills, this will happen. And that gave people the impression that, oh my God, you know what? I bought a couch from Ashley's Furniture and using the Ashley credit card or Bob's discount credit card. And, if I don't pay this note, they're going to come here and take my cap. No, they're not going to come take you.
Which, again, if it's Bob's credit card, you're still not paying Bob.
You're not. Right? Bob's already been paid.
It's a program that Bob is running. It's a promotion. The credit isn't actually going to Bob, right?
Exactly. So Bob's already been paid. He doesn't care. He goes, okay, here, we'll extend rent to you. That's the way the game is played. It's a game. It's all smoke and mirrors, man. None of it is real.
Okay, this is the last one. Actually, two more. One, medical bills. Do you have anything to say about medical bills?
We can knock them right out of the ballpark.
Okay. There's nothing special about them.
Nah,
they're not going to take your kidney back.
Oh, they're not going to surely.
Isn't there a movie like that where they come? I try not to watch things that'll give me nightmares, but I remember a commercial like that.
They're not going to take your pacemaker.
Yeah. And then this is very simple. Taxes. Anything you want to say about taxes?
Yeah, we could we could remove it at a bureau level. We can knock it out so it won't be there.
The government's still going to want it, but
absolutely.
The impact on your score is what you can.
Right, we can mitigate that tremendously.
What about liens and judgments?
Same thing. Like we could remove it, and if they wanted to go look for the judgment or something like that, they'd have to go to that local municipality's courtroom and ask the county clerk and go dig through records. Wow. But from a bureau level, and again, that's what people need to think. It's at a bureau level. So some people I get questions like, can you zero out my card? Can you make it go down to zero and then I can use my card? I'm like, no, that doesn't work that way. And same thing with the judgments and stuff. It's at a bureau level. We don't make it disappear from the courthouse. Okay. Wait a minute, get the clerk. This file here from Mr. Smith is missing.
Yeah, but there's the sort of
those damn Russian hackers.
So there are some things where I'm just going to put it as blunt as I can. There are some things where joining our program, you're not going to need to pay those bills, and then there are some things where you will.
Oh yeah, absolutely. 1,000%. I think when you look at the whole entire credit picture, I look at you typically, and I like to be conservative and very conservative, like 75 to 80% of all the junk is gone. Okay. Right. Conservatively, and more often we see even more than that, 90 some odd percent cleaned up, which is for the majority of people is perfect enough to jump your score from like the 500s and into the 700s.
Yeah,
excellent. Yeah. So that's the thing. So there are certain things. I mean, there are times where a person comes to us and they're so late in the game that they're in the middle of being dragged into court by American Express, and some creditors like Amex can take you to court depending upon which state you live in. Each state has their own, consumer credit protection laws. So some states they allow a creditor to drag you to court, like American Express or whatnot. And when you're dragged to court, they'll try to get an automatic judgment. And there are techniques we use for that as well. We're not lawyers by any stretch of the imagination. We're not pretending to practice law, but there are certain things you can do legally within the confines of the law that fits the Fair Credit Reporting Act that was passed, that allows you to really mitigate, and you're going to have to negotiate. So we help you to negotiate. We don't at that juncture when you're in the courtroom, hey, this is what you do. This is a court session, and you have to make them an offer. You have to be nice about it, and let's see what happens. We're not trying to play lawyer here or make a legal defense. Be like, hey, because when you're in the court, you're not going to get into that legalese argument.
Yeah.
So
and of course, we probably should have said this in the beginning. Everything we're doing here is for educational purposes. We're not giving anyone financial advice.
No, there's no financial advice given here.
We're giving strategies and education.
Yeah, exactly. We're just talking theories here and entertainment. That's it.
This is for your entertainment.
This is for your entertainment.
Excellent. Man, I think we hit everything.
I think we've covered a whole litany of it. I can't think of any other one. But if anything that, if there's anything that people should be taking away from this broadcast, is this: the debt is illegitimate. It's not yours. They created it using your credit and loaned it back to you, convincing you that if you do not pay it, you would owe them penalties and interest, and they'll come ruin your life. And that's the message I want to get across to the American public. You don't have to live in fear. You don't have to wake up in the morning and be like, man, my life sucks. Feeling oh my God, all this debt. Listen, you gotta grab life by the horns. You gotta wake up in the morning. You gotta have some courage. You gotta have some intestinal fortitude. And say to yourself, screw this. I'm done. I'm done playing the debt game. I'm done being harassed. Oh, but that's another thing, man. We make those phone calls and all that stuff. That goes away. Okay? Yeah. That's gone. And so we make all the harassing phone calls and the stupid letters stop. Get out of the game. Look, this is what RNR does. Okay? You're being bullied by these guys. Okay? You're being harassed. They're threatening you. They're making you feel like, I've heard collections agencies piss me off because I've heard the tactics, and some of the tactics they use where we're going to come to your house right now and say things like arrest you.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's crazy stuff.
This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. We're going to come there with papers and court papers. And meanwhile, this is some punk kid who's working at either an attorney's office or a debt collector's office, and all they're doing is just reading off a script.
Yeah. No power to do any of that.
No power to do any of that. There's no debtor's prisons in the United States. Okay? The only debtor prison you have is if you don't pay Uncle Sam. Mm-hmm. All right? But the thing is these people are stressed out, thinking that some schlep rock is going to come, there with the cops and arrest them because they didn't pay their $300 T-Mobile bill.
Yeah.
What in God's name? You know what I'm saying? So this is what people need to be privy to. And what we do is this. So you're being harassed, you're being bullied, and all of a sudden you get pissed off, you call R&R, and now the schoolyard bullies have to stop because they see a big, bad hitman right next to you. Mm-hmm. And that's when they back off.
A furry hitman.
Absolutely. A big, ape-like guerrilla hitman.
What we're making available, what you're making available to people is a powerful option. Yeah. There are options available to you. Now, these options are available. It's just the average person, even the above average person, wouldn't know how to exercise them, wouldn't know how to do them.
Correct.
And what you've put together is you've put together an amazing arsenal of tools to help someone overcome all of these problems. And you're making it available to them. You're making it affordable. And now, like you said, instead of just being terrified, because I know what it's like. You wake up, you just don't know how you're going to get out of what you got into, and you feel like there's no options.
Right.
And this puts all of the most powerful, potent, aggressive options, makes it available to the average person. That's what's so amazing about RestoreRepairCredit.com.
Absolutely. And there's only a handful of companies out there that come close to what we do, and they are far more expensive.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, I've been there. I've when I was in a predicament when I lost my job at the bank, and I needed to rebuild my assets, and I had a 500 some odd change credit score, and one of the original mentors who taught me all this, he was charging $10,000 a pop, between $5,000 and $10,000. I paid almost $20,000 to get everything corrected on my file.
Wow.
$20,000 cash out of pocket. Okay, so yeah. So now
that's a good thing. Good way to judge the fees that we do have.
Oh, dude, it's unbelievable. I mean, I've been in the office where people are coming in a black Range Rover with a suitcase, and they open up the suitcase. There's like $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 in cash.
Wow.
Because they need help. They're in a major financial predicament, and we're offering it for $14.99.
and this 3-month payment plan, 6-month payment plan.
Yeah.
And then if with the couples, what we've done with the couples plan is we didn't just add together 2 plans. We did that and then gave a huge discount right off the top.
Exactly.
So it's pretty awesome what we're making available to people. What you're making available to people.
I don't think there's anything like it anywhere in the country. Period.
No, I could tell you just in terms of putting our site together and looking, I couldn't find anything comparable.
Right.
I found stuff that was really cheap, and
right.
What they were offering was
disputes. They just go into your file and dispute the heck out of it, or
nothing like what we're talking about. And we've dealt with people who've gone through these programs, and they're saying, that's one that I couldn't quite figure out how to put into words.
Yeah. But
one question we get a lot is this one of those things where, and they'll name some program that they went through or some class or course that they took, and it's like there are things that resemble some of the things that you're going to teach the person to do, but they don't even come close to the impact.
One thing I will say is if you've been through somebody who's been through credit repair before, and you come to us, all right, it's going to take a little bit longer, because that file's a file that's sort of been messed with. We don't know what sort of damage has been done. I mean, we have jokers who take out like false police reports, things of that sort. With us, that doesn't happen. I mean, we have clients of ours who are federal employees. They have to have a clean credit score. Otherwise, it'll trigger on their background checks. So we can't be throwing out fraud alerts and putting this, that, and the other. And this is what you see happening out there with these guys, these fly-by-night guys who are putting out fraud alerts, who are just disputing things. Those things come back. This is the next level.
Yeah.
And we do it better than anybody else that I've seen. Look, I've been working on this program for over 5 years. Okay, I've been really working on it, and it's only in the last 2.5 years that we're able to really put it together. And up until that time, anybody that needed to get the credit stuff done, I had to resort them out to like third party. I mean, the best guy that I've used initially in the beginning, he passed away. He died. He was the master, and so in between now and then, it's I'm happy to be not only offering this, but to be fully in control of the process from beginning to end. And I'm serious about putting my name and my brand behind it. It means a lot to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. That's all we got, V.
Awesome, man.
That's great.
Fantastic. So, folks, yeah, absolutely. So, anybody, you guys need help. You have questions, concerns, comments. Frank, how do they contact us, man? You got all that info.
Okay, very simple. support@restorerepaircredit.com. You can always go to restorerepaircredit.com, and you can check out our videos. You can go through our site, and some people see the whole thing and they'll ask, how do you get started? Go to the site and click. I don't know. It says buy now or start now or something like that. Yeah. You get started. A lot of what we do. Here's the thing. I'm going to say this to people. you've kept this team small. This is very personal stuff that you're doing for people. It's very specialized stuff that you're doing for people. And so you've kept it small. And so there's sometimes someone asks a question, we wish we could answer immediately, but sometimes it takes a little while. However, when you join the program, a lot of the stuff that we do is automated. So when you choose your payment package and you join, you're going to get your contract immediately. You'll be able to sign it. Stuff like that actually goes very, very smoothly. So I wanted to make that point.
Right.
So to say we work as hard as we can to get back to people quickly when they have questions. When it comes to joining the program, all that goes very quickly and smoothly. You get entered into our system and the process begins. So it's very straightforward. If you want to join, you go ahead, you click buy now or start now, whatever it says on our site, and all of that just happens automatically. It's pretty great. I mean, there's things we need from you, but as fast as you get it done is as fast as it gets moving. It's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep, I think you summed it up best. And folks, again, check us out. If you have any questions, contact us. We're here to help you. You got options, and that's the biggest thing that you need to realize. You have options. It's not the end of the world. Please, they like to make you think like it's the end of the world and your life is over. Life is about the hustle. Okay, the banks and the banksters are hustling against you. They wake up every day and they say to themselves, what type of fictitious financial instrument can we make in order to extract wealth from the American people?
Yeah.
Because there's a sucker born every minute. They're looking to fleece you. It's time that you got serious, wake up, realize you got options, and kick these guys right in the nuts and make it happen.
We should make that our new
that should be the motto.
Slogan.
Kick the bankers in the nuts.
It's a salty credit repair service.
It's
you're not gonna get that from any of the other companies, I'll tell you that.
No. Nobody else guarantees that.
All right. Thanks so much, man, for taking time to answer all those questions. Awesome to spend some time talking to you. And I know this is going to help a lot of people out, help them make their decisions more quickly, more simply. So I'm psyched about it. So thanks so much, V. Appreciate it, man.
Glad to do it, buddy. Thank you so much.
We're out.
Have a good one, everyone. Bye-bye.